What's going on, Military Cashflow family? Today we got a great episode. Today we're going to be talking about the number one tool for success in your military career. All right, Mike, you want to start it off?
Yes. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking like it's hard work, it's dedication. It's not, guys. We're going to hit you with the not so obvious but real deal Holyfield stuff here. So for me, believe it or not, it is the coveted I Love Me book. Now, if you haven't heard of the I Love Me book, what that is basically a folder or a collection of folders with your entire military history inside of them, right? And I mean, this is everything from your orders from basic to any medical examinations you have, all of your jump logs, any schools you've been to, deployments, ranks, awards, you name it. It's all in one place. Now, the reason why it's so important, see, I got excited, is because, as you start traveling around, especially when you start to PCS, there really isn't a regulation or a regulatory body that's telling your unit that his books need to be 100% accurate. Matter of fact, they're looking at you to say, hey, make sure your books are 100% accurate. So if you're not keeping up with this and it's time to leave, and all of a sudden your unit says, here's your orders to transfer over, this is what we're sending, and you see that you're missing maybe some awards, you're missing maybe time and rank for whatever reason because they didn't update it correctly. If you're missing, medical history, whatever, jump logs, you have to understand that when you leave the military, they're going to use whatever was transferred. So you potentially could have to pay back money if your jump logs are incorrect. You potentially, now this is like worst case scenario, you potentially, let's say you hit rank with enough time to say that you've done, let's just say E7, right? You hit rank with enough time to say, hey, I should retire at E7 pay. But for whatever reason, the documents aren't aligned and it says, no, you couldn't have hit it until here because you didn't have enough time and grade. Now you potentially could get retired with a pinch or at least have to fight to prove it all the way down. So by keeping all of these documents in order and making sure you are updating them frequently, you're going to save a lot of pain. And I'll give you a real story of mine. When remember, I was guard first, and then I went to the military. They tried to reset every piece of my military history to when it was active. So when I was looking to start receiving good conduct medals, which come out every 3 years, when I was starting to look to receive promotions to say, hey, I've had time in service for enough, and all these other things, I got pushback, a lot of pushback. It says, no, here's what our records show. Luckily, at the time, somebody told me about the I Love Me book. I can't remember who, but I had that information and I was able to go. And it took me a while to fight it. It took me like 4 to 6 months. But when it finally got all updated, then I was back on track to continue with my promotions and everything else. So it really can save you. And, if you're really lucky, you may not need it, but you better have it, man. That's the number one tip, in my opinion.
Man, that's a great point, man. Because I think it's happened to if you've been in the military for long enough, more than like one enlistment or for more than 4 years, you're going to realize, better yet, if you've transferred to a different duty station, the pain that comes along with updating your records and making sure these documents from this duty station goes to the next duty station, especially your medical records. And one quick thing I'd recommend with that, right, is digitizing this stuff too. I know a lot of people keep them in folders, and that's perfect. That's excellent. But also keep a backup hard copy as well, because I don't know, you might do a move and you might have those documents, your folders somewhere, and then if somebody's moved you, they lose those folders. Now you're stuck, right? So that's a great point.
That's why we're such a good team here, because he thinks from the officer perspective. My dumb ass has been lugging around this book everywhere I go, bro. But I'm just holding on to it. But that is a genius idea. Definitely digitize it. And with today's day and age, man, you can just scan it on your phone. You can just run it all through a automatic scanner or something. So there's no excuse not to. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, man. So my best tip is to set your goals and then backwards plan from those goals. Right. So I've showed this a billion times in different recordings, but I carry my little laminated book, if you guys can see it here, with all my goals on it, what I want to do. It has like timelines and when I'm supposed to meet stuff on it. Right. By the way, if you guys want that, I can send that out to you. Just let me know. I've sent it out to a bunch of other people. So you make those goals. What do you want out of the term of the military you're going to be in? So if you know you're going to serve 4 years, what do you want out of those 4 years? Start with that, and then backwards plan how you can achieve those goals, right? So let's say for me, for example, I'm doing 20 years, and there's certain things that I want. There's certain milestones that I want to hit. All right, and let's just say, let's say I've already been to airborne school, but let's just say I wanted to go to airborne school, or let's say I wanted to go to Ranger school. That's even an even better one. And let's say I wanted to go to Ranger school in the next 3 years. All right, what do I need to do in year 3 to ensure to make sure that I am prepared to go to Ranger school in year 4? All right, what do I need to do in year 2 to make sure that I'm prepared to hit the milestone that I need for year 3? And all of it's nested to get all of those goals are aligned and nested below each other to make sure that I can hit that end goal. Right. So I think that is extremely, extremely, extremely important. A lot of people come in to the military without having any plan, and that's okay. But now that you know better, you should do better, right? So once you figure out what you want to do, make sure you backwards plan from that. And that's the only way that I think that you can ensure success in your career. And not only are you going to align those things with what you're doing in the military, but also make sure they are across the board with the things that you also want in life as well. So really quick example, I'm just going to show a quick, if I can find this thing. It's going to share my screen with you. We just talked about it, but now I can't find it. Anyways, I got like a 5-year plan, some like 5-year plans and other little success products that you guys can use as well as free downloads. If you guys want them, just leave a comment below or just link up with us on IG or Instagram, and we can get those out to you. And yeah.
Keep looking for it, because I'd love for them to see the visual. And for anybody who does want it, just let us know. But hey, you got to be subscribed or following though. Don't be coming out of here. We're looking at the watch time. A lot of y'all ain't subscribed. No, but seriously though, what he's saying is right on the money, because I'm going to give you another real world example. Oftentimes, and I didn't do this until late in my career, but oftentimes in my mind, I would know that I would want certain schools, right? But when you're not in SF, those things that got me those schools, I know were just like a high PT score for aerosol, right? Certain schools would only go to Soldier of the Year or Soldier of the Quarter, right? And so now that I know that if I want to get this school, I need Soldier of the Quarter. Okay, well, what do I need to get Soldier of the Quarter? Okay, boom, I need to do this, right? Now, when you get an SF, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. It's like, all right, well, now we know there's certain events that need to happen for us to even hit our promotion ranks. Like in order for us to go to E7, E8, we have to do certain stuff. But within those certain things, we have multiple options across the board. So now as we're looking, for an example, you have to have a leadership skill or an advanced skill. And an example of that would be airborne is a basic skill. Jump master would be the advanced skill. And so you can have jump master, you can have dive suit, you can have halo jump master as an example, right? So we get to choose which one of those advanced schools we want, but we need one to get promoted. So now which one of those advanced schools is going to help me get what I want out of life? What do I want to do when I'm promoted? Do I want to take over a team? Do I want to take over a company? Do I want to take over a school as a lead instructor? Then which ones do I need to take, right? So this is something I learned late in the career, but if you guys start with this, it's a great tool. It's a great asset.
As you can see, this is a quick, 5-year timeline. Obviously, this is a little outdated because I've been sending it out since before this actually, but I have a newer updated one. But basically what this does is it tracks your career, right? Not just you, but also your wife. And also if you got kids, kind of shows them, if I move this little red bar, I can move this wherever I want it to be at. And it shows you where everything's at in one point in your life. Also down here, you can put your income things if you want to, or, if you're real estate, obviously we're into real estate. So you can put your real estate goals and see where it's all nested. So at any given point in time, you can tell roughly around what everything's going to look like. And that helps you because let's say, your wife, for example, for me, my wife is in the military as well. So we have to make sure that we are both in alignment. I need to know when she plans on going to school, because that's going to affect my goals and what I should be trying to find in my career, right? So and then also that affects where the boys are. Do we want a PCS in the middle of a school year? Probably not, right? Because the boys are already, you know, in their school year. And then also the type of job may affect what we do in real estate as far as what specifically we try to buy or when we want to buy things. And then obviously the income is going to play a goal, are going to play a role in this as well. So that's just a quick example of like a quick 5-year timeline. Pretty much I update something like this every, you know, twice a year usually, and we move things around. It's a conversation that I have with my wife, and this has been the number one key factor for us in success, and not just our careers, but also for what we want out of life, right? And then like I mentioned before, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Well, like I mentioned before, the goals list, here's like a PDF copy, but it basically has like all of my goals that I have for my relationships, for my personal goals, for my military goals, for my business, all this stuff here. And again, I can send this out to you guys if you just leave a comment below, or better yet, just shoot us a message on IG or Facebook. Please do us a favor and subscribe, of course. We'd really appreciate that. And I can send this out to you PDF. Hopefully this helps you, you know, give you some kind of blueprint or some kind of idea of what you can do as well. I've had several of my soldiers do this exact same thing, and I bragged on them a few times throughout this podcast series, right? But you know, they started doing things like this, and they've been taking off in their life goals, their family goals, and also their personal financial goals, right? So, and a lot of it is just going through your goals over and over again. Like that list that I just showed you guys, this list right here that I showed you guys that I carry around with me daily and I read daily, it subconsciously seeps in your mind, and all the actions that you take throughout the day, it essentially makes sure that you're nested within your goals, right? So I've looked at one of these things that I built from, I think, I don't know, 2017 or 2016, and I haven't looked at it in a long time, but ironically, all the actions that we've taken, my wife and I, we've hit those benchmarks, and we've made it to those points. So I don't know. I think it's very, very, very powerful. Goal setting and backwards planning. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want that information as a PDF, please leave the comment below, hit us on Facebook, IG, subscribe, and we'll get that over to you free of charge. Mike?
Absolutely, guys. These two, if you kind of combine them, now what you've done is you kind of set the intent for your military career and the direction that you want to go, and you've protected it, right? So now as you're going through all these goals, you have a track record with proof with the I Love Me book to say, hey, I've done all these things. If you've done the right research and the planning in the beginning, you know what you need to achieve whatever your next goal is. And now you got proof that you achieved it. So now you can go into leadership very confident to say, hey, look, I've done what I needed to do, and here's the proof, right? So these are just a couple of tips. This is from the lessons that we've learned personally through our military careers, and hopefully that provides some value to you guys. Now, if you guys have different tools or different ideas, different tips for success, what's the one thing that you think played the most important role in helping you progress in your military career? Leave that in the comments below and let us know. We'd love to hear all the suggestions that you got. But with that being said, this is Mike Glaspie
and Dan Wynn
signing off.
Like it. I like it.